guys, and welcome to this week's Facebook Live. Now, I haven't been there for a while. I say this week, but I've taken 2 months off. That's right, I haven't been doing any Facebook Lives because I took a summer vacation. But as of here on in, you'll see me back here, same time, which is around lunchtime, same place, every Wednesday for Australia, and those of you in the rest of the world, roughly whenever it is now, sometime between 12 and 2, lunchtime on a Wednesday, when I feel it's the time to jump on and share this advice with you, I'll be here answering question of the week. Now, this question of the week, it's actually number 6, so I did this for 5 weeks before I took my summer vacation. And it's an interesting question because I actually had all these questions coming through and I kind of structured them in an order that made logical sense to cover topics in. And then I actually got asked this question today. And I've adjusted my schedule, pushed what I was going to answer today to next week because I think this is an important question when it comes to, as you can see in my subtitle, choosing the correct path to go in your life. Because what I was asked today and what I want you guys to ask yourself is, what did you do as a kid? Because see, whatever you did as a child, whatever you did when you were young, it generally shows your natural longings or intentions in life, why you were put on this earth, what your drives were, what excited you then. If that's not your passion later in life, if that's not what you're doing and it is your passion, you've got a bit of a problem. So for me, people ask me this question and I hesitated to answer because the stuff I did as a kid was a little bit different to your average person. For example, they said, you're so business focused, you know, because I'm driven by marketing and ensuring people's success. They said, what did you do as a kid? I said, I ran businesses. They said, seriously? I said, yeah. I wrote my first book at age 2 and I opened my first business at age 8. And people are like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, that's what I did, you know? If you ask me what my first sentence was, I want money. And not because I was desperately money hungry at less than 2, but because I was already playing shop. I would take cornflake boxes, empty cornflake boxes, seal them up with sticky tape, and go around to my nan and her friends and charge them. Back then what we had in Australia was 1 and 2 cent copper pieces for the box. There was nothing in it. These guys were buying air. So my first structured sentence was, I want money, because I was handing them the box. I wanted to get paid for it. And they actually paid me, 1 or 2 cents, it's neither here nor there, for a box of air because the marketing angle was good. This was a little kid saying, come on, you want this box of air? I'm cute, give me some money. And people were actually buying boxes of air off me. No joke, this is what I did. You know, I looked up to my uncle. My uncle is an amazing businessman. He's won Small Business of the Year award so many years running, it's not funny. I used to sit on my uncle's lap and he'd say, who's your favorite uncle in the world? And I'd say, you are. And he'd ask me why, and I'd go, oh, because you've got money. What I meant was he had a business, and I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to grow up and have a business and change the world. So, of course, I wrote my first book at age 2. Why? Because my nana asked me. She told me about a fishing trip. And then I said, wow, Nana, that's such a great story. You should write a book about that. And my nana said to me these words, it's when you're a go-getter in life and you'll know that early on. Look at children around you. Think about what you were like as a child. You can tell the ones that are going places from early on because they're driven. They want to take action. So I said to Nana the logical thing when she told me about her fishing trip. I said, Nana, you should write a book about that. And she said, oh, I could never write a book. I said, fine, then I will. And in the space of 1 day, I wrote my first book. It was not a masterpiece. I'm talking 6 pages, 3 words a page. You know, 18-word book. It's not a masterpiece. And it was terrible. Butcher's paper, folded over with staples through the side. My artwork was bad enough. My handwriting, I'm 2. Bear with me. I could neither read nor write. But I set myself a goal. When my nana, who was 70-odd, refused to do it, I said, no, Nana, I'm going to do it. So she took it and said, what's it called? Well, it's about Nana's fishing trip. It's called Nana Goes Fishing. Like, duh, you know, Nana. She goes, oh, she's about to write title. I said, no, I want to do it. And I sat there. It was a tedious process. My nana, one of the most patient people in the world, but I sat there and no joke, I actually wrote that whole book. It started off with Nana, how do you spell Nana? Nana, what does an N look like? It was a slow and tedious process. But at the end of that day, I had in fact written my first book. And interestingly enough, if you look at the structure I subconsciously followed as a 2-year-old, it's the structure I teach in my books of how to write a book today. So that's interesting. Another sub-point, what you do when you're young, driving your future career. My nana, the lady who at 70-odd years told me she could never write a book, called me 20-odd years later, and she said, hi, I'd like to speak to the publishing and marketing queen. And I said, Nan, I know it's you on the phone. It's all cool. You know, what do you want? She goes, I didn't ring your private number. I rang your work number. This is a business paid transaction. I want to speak to a professional. Can I speak to the publishing and marketing queen or not? I go, Nan, what do you want? She goes, I want to publish a book. I'm a paying customer. She was serious. And she did, in fact, at age 90, publish her first book when at age 70, she said she couldn't. So when I say I've worked with people from 2 to 90, I'm not kidding. I was the 2-year-old that wrote the first book, and my nan was the 90-year-old woman. So when I say look at what you did as a kid, it helped shape your direction. I mean, if I was writing books at age 2, of course I was going to go into publishing and marketing the books. I opened my first business at age 8, I said that. So of course I was going to go into business. But see, I was a really mature kid. I actually got the award at Sunday school for being the most cooperative and the most well-mannered child. They couldn't understand why I did things right a certain way. They gave me a song to sing, and it was about obedience. It was called the Obedience song. I can still sing it. And I used to sing that song at the front of the class. Now, it was a song about being obedient to God and following the scriptures and things like that. But they just made it my trademark because they said I was the most well-behaved child they'd ever been. But of course, I wasn't trying to be a well-behaved child. I was trying to live life my way, set structures, set systems, fully automated, all the stuff I was preparing for my adult years. So I wasn't trying intentionally to be a good child. I was trying to make life make sense and fit within my boundaries. So of course I opened my first business at age 8, because when I turned to my mother and thanked her for raising me and went to leave, thinking by 8 years old, how independent was I could start life on my own, she gave me an interesting challenge. She said to me, she didn't say no. Most people, when their 8-year-old turns to leave, they'd say, no, you can't do this. No, my mother said, sure, you can go. You've proved you're old enough and independent to look after yourself. But before you go, would you mind doing a test? Now, I'm always up for a challenge. I'm like, sure, I'd love to do a test. She goes, then can you do this for me? What I want you to do is I want you to live completely independently in this house for a whole week. And if you can do it, if you can prove that you truly can look after yourself, you're free to go. So I thought that was a great idea. When I got my life savings, obviously hadn't grasped the full concept of money then, went down the road, bought all the groceries, and I bought sensible stuff, not junk food. I bought the right food to eat for the week, came back, marked off the shelf of the fridges, Kylie's shelf, put all my food on it, cooked all my own meals, cleaned for myself, washed my clothes, did everything for myself for the whole week. Didn't even speak to a family member for 7 days because I thought speaking to them meant you weren't independent, you couldn't prove you could live without them. And at the end of the 7 days, I went to my mum and I said, how'd I go? And she said, you did brilliantly. You proved that you were truly independent enough to live on your own. So out you go. So I turned to leave for the second time, this time with a backpack on my shoulder, nothing packed, didn't think about clothes or any preparations. I was just leaving. My mum had raised me. I was ready for the real world. She said, but don't you think you should buy next week's groceries first? And I turned to her, the biggest shock of, destruction on my face. And I went, but I just spent my life savings on last week's. She said, then you've got a bit of a problem, don't you? Now, more good advice. You could thank my nan, you could thank my mum, but they're the people that shape you when you're a kid, the people around you. But the very next day, I opened my first business because I realized something. Money is what makes the world go round. You can't afford to live life or get places without making money. Now, I was already driven. I already loved business. I already loved books. So, of course, I opened my first business. Now, I wasn't in books. I'm 8 years old. I went to the local market. I sold craft items. I made $50 in one day. I was stoked. They were $1 each. But good marketing angle, guys. There was a little kid sitting there making them live to show I did it. I was there 8 years old on the market on my own. I couldn't make them fast enough. People were pulling them off the clamps I had them in to set the glue to dry and buying them and throwing these gold coins at me. They loved the marketing angle. I was distraught. They were ripping out these products. They were going to be faulty. They hadn't dried yet. They were going to fall apart. This is what I mean. Look at what you do as a kid. All of these things that were happening, and I'm only talking up to age 8 here, they framed my whole life. Of course I went into publishing. Of course I went into marketing. Of course there was business behind that. You don't even want to know how I played with kids. They came over to my place and they touched my village. I had built a village around my room. All my dolls were people. All my toys were their possessions. We had a currency system. They traded the currency. They bought items. It was insane, right? I was taking over the world from within my bedroom. And if my friends came over and they touched my stuff, so the wrong currency was allocated to the wrong person, or they didn't have the item they worked hard to buy, or the business they were setting up. I even had teenagers running babysitting studios. You know what I mean? It was insane. Now, maybe I've just shared all this with you and you think I was kind of weird as a kid, but my point is, what were you like as a kid? See, that all perfectly frames what I'm doing right now, what I'm about. What did you do as a kid? What did you love? What was your passion? Are you doing it now? And if so, why or why not? You need to think about the framework you came into this world with, how you were naturally created, what you were naturally created to do. And if you're not doing it now, you need to ask yourself why. And if you're not monetizing it now, you need to ask yourself why. Because I'm in marketing, guys, and the best marketing angle will not sell something you don't believe in, particularly if you don't believe in yourself. But if you have a product you love, that passion oozes through what you do. Everyone sees that and everyone wants to buy it because that product, that service will change the world, because that's what you were here, put on this earth to do. So I can see a lot of people coming in, and normally I comment on your names. I can just see a couple of people there, Emma and Mahesh, and I think I saw Yulia there before. Normally I comment on your names as you come in, but I just wanted to get that content out to you because that was so important, I felt, for me to share with you today, since I was asked that very question today. But I put it to you. What did you do as a kid, and how are you applying that in your life today? Go out there, get the success you deserve, make your mark on this planet. And guys, I'll see you back here, same time, same place next week for Publishing and Marketing Queens Question of the Week number 7 to be answered.